What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So we are finally here. The premiere of Survivor Season 50 is officially here. Way back last year, end of last May, we officially got the Survivor Season 50 cast. We posted a whole 34-something minute video on here talking about every castaway that was going to be on Survivor for Season 50. Obviously, we didn't know the Survivor 49 players at the time, but obviously now that we've seen the season, we do know of Savannah and Rizzo as well. So we have the season right here. We have the cast. We have the tribe divisions and everything. We have the trailers, preseason interviews and everything. And now it is officially time for us to start seeing Survivor Season 50. But before we do see it, of course, had to come on here and give our preview predictions and, of course, give my winner pick for this season of Survivor. But this season, going to do it a little bit differently, since this obviously is an all returning cast. We know all of the players in this season, so can maybe go a little bit more and give a little bit more of predictions for these tribes and how the season will go overall. But so basically, what we're going to do, we're going to go through each tribe overall. Kind of who I think the first boot will be from each tribe. Some question marks I have for the players from those tribes, and then my most likely winner pick from each tribe. Go through some alliances I would love to see formed. And then, like always, like we do for every season of Survivor, going to give my 4 most likely players to win this season, and then my official winner pick overall at the end. But anyway, before we do jump into that, if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down there. We're going to have Survivor content on the channel all season long. We'll have recaps for every single episode all season 50. Other stuff, if we need other videos, talk about stuff that happened during the episode or other stuff leading up, we'll have it here on the channel. So just make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video. So let's just jump right into the tribes. We're going to start with the purple tribe, which is the Vatu tribe. The tribe consists of Colby Donaldson, Genevieve Mushaluk, Rizzo Vilovich, Angelina Keeley, Quintavious Q. Burdett, Stephanie LaGrossa Kendrick, Kyle Frazier, and Aubrey Bracco. Now, for this tribe, I think the most likely first boot is Stephanie. I think, obviously her and Colby are the players that have played the longest. Longest to go, I guess is a better way to phrase it, should I say. Aubrey played, mid to late 30s, and then you look at everyone else, or Angelina, mid to late 30s as well, but then everyone else is new era players. So I'm curious kind of the alliances that kind of be formed early. I just see kind of Stephanie as someone who could possibly be left on the outside of this tribe early on. Definitely could be wrong, but yeah, that's just kind of how I see it. Stephanie as the most likely first boot from this season, or from this tribe, should I say. And then my biggest kind of question marks overall for this tribe is Kyle and Rizzo. Kyle, obviously, he is the only winner on this tribe. Each tribe has one winner. Kyle having won season 48, the last full season that this, cast of survivors saw before coming out here. They just saw the Survivor 49 preview, so they saw Rizzo, R-I-Z-G-O-D, Riz God, baby. They saw him in the preview, but they didn't see how he played. And I think that could possibly benefit Rizzo a little bit. And Kyle, I'm curious if Kyle, being a winner, if he can get past this early part of the game, and something you always worry about when you're a winner coming back on Survivor. So I'm curious how he is able to navigate this early part of the season. I do think them not seeing Rizzo's full game, I think that'll benefit him some, because I think if they saw how strategic he really was during the season, not just see this R-I-Z-G-O-D, Riz God, baby, in the preview, if they just see that, they don't see all the strategic moves and the idle shenanigans and whatnot, I think that can benefit Rizzo here. So if he can get into a nice alliance early on and move through the beginning parts of the game to the merge, then I think Rizzo can be in a good spot. An alliance I want to see out of this group too. I would love to see an Angelina, Genevieve, Rizzo, and Kyle alliance come out of this. But I am curious. So that's kind of where I have the overall tribe sitting at right now. My most likely winner picks out of this tribe, I believe, are Genevieve and Angelina. Genevieve, obviously, someone who I believe can be, is believed to be very strategic, can be cutthroat, blindside people if you need to, and can kind of work through the game in kind of different social situations. Angelina obviously is, a really good social player as well. I think it should be strategic, make some moves as well. So I think for both of Genevieve and Angelina, I think getting through the early parts of the game, specifically Genevieve, just giving her reputation from 47, how she was perceived, by, fans and other Survivor players. If she can get through the early parts of the game and get in a good alliance, I think if Angelina and Genevieve, I mentioned them as part of that bigger alliance, but if they can kind of get in together early and form a solid two early on, I think both of them can benefit each other and go fairly far in this game. Next up, we have the Orange Tribe, otherwise known as the Sela Tribe. And this tribe consists of Joe Hunter, Savannah Louie, Christian Hubicki, Suri Fields, Ozzy Lust, Emily Flippen, Rick Devens, and Jenna Lewis Doherty. Now, this tribe, I believe the most likely in danger to be the first boot is Savannah. And this might be a little surprising, obviously, because if you watch Survivor Season 49, you know how good of a season that Savannah played. And obviously, no one out there saw Survivor Season 49 and how good Savannah played. But I do think that everyone out there is smart. They will be able to sniff out that either Rizzo or Savannah won Survivor 49. I think it was Joe who, even kind of in pregame press, was predicting that it was Savannah that won. So I think one way or another, it'll get out that Savannah was the winner of 49. I could be wrong, and her and Rizzo obviously were in alliance on 49 and are friends, close, tight, whatever. And they could agree not to, or they could agree going in that like, nope, neither of them won. They got close, but they didn't win. And if they do that, then I think they could possibly benefit from that. But I think also the unknown of them is kind of the biggest thing here. And I think in this specific tribe through too, I think Savannah is in danger of that. But I think they'll also just see Savannah as a big threat as well. I think if she's able to get into an alliance with Suri, Devens, and like Christian or Emily Flippen or Jenna, mix and match any of those, then I think she could get through the early parts of the game. But I think the early parts of the game are going to be the toughest for Savannah. If she's able to get through and get to the merge, then I think she'll be, kind of be able to stay in and have staying power going into the later parts of this game. But I just worry about her early on in the game. My biggest question marks are Emily Flippen, and Rick Devens. They're my two biggest question marks because, like, what Emily do we get? Do we get the Emily that we saw in the first half of her season, or do we get the second half of that season Emily? And they're obviously two completely different players. The first half of that season, Emily was kind of standoffish. Not many people wanted to work with her. And then the second half, everyone wanted to work with her kind of essentially. And, she was able to play a good strategic social game. And then Rick Devens, we saw how the type of game he played at the end with the idols and, everything, and was seen as this huge threat late in his season, just got taken out at fire. Will people see that and be like, we can't let him get far, or, we got it, we can get him, close to the merge or to the merge, but we got to take him out early in the merge. I'm curious how they view him in that sense. And if they want to take him out early before giving him that chance to get close to the end again. So those are my two biggest question marks, but my most likely winner out of this tribe is Christian Hubicki. That's right. I think he can his social game can get him into most alliances as well, but he's also very strategic too. So if he can kind of get in to an alliance, similar and get through early parts of this game, I think he's just very likable too. I don't think he'll be in danger early on, so I think he'll just be around in this game for a long time. And if he's able to, form a strong alliance and make a couple moves here or there, then yeah, I think he has a really good shot at winning this thing coming out of this tribe. But with that being said, we move on to the Teal Tribe, otherwise known as the Kahlo Tribe. And this tribe consists of Jonathan Young, Dee Valladares, Mike White, Camilla Carthagesu, Charlie Davis, Tiffany Irvin, Benjamin Coach, Wade, and Chrissy Hoffbeck. Now, with this tribe, I have two for my in danger of being the first boot, and that is Dee and that is Camilla. Dee, obviously, the only winner on this tribe, obviously, but she is also known as the most dominant New Era winner and one of the most dominant winners of Survivor in general. So I think her reputation could put her in danger early, but then Camilla as well. She was seen as a very strategic player on her season, but I don't think that, like, during the game, people watching it obviously saw how social she actually really was to get through this game, and kind of how she just kind of laid in the weeds, but then had her, alliance member Kyle, who was in a majority alliance and was able to kind of back channel and, control the game that way. So they saw how sneaky she was. So I think that could put her in danger early as well. My biggest question marks coming from this tribe are Mike White and with Chrissy Hoffbeck. Mike White, more of kind of like, I think he'll be very social like he was in his season and be able to, fit into most alliances. But I'm just curious if, given his success, which I guess it could go twofold, and I know this is kind of a common theme or talking point with Mike White, like, oh, do people want to just keep him around to get a cameo on White Lotus? That's kind of not a lazy one, but just kind of a common one people talk about. Just some question marks there. Not about him, but just about people wanting to work with him or how far they want to let him go, should I say. And then Chrissy Hoffbeck, I think, it's a question mark, but I think my question mark will be answered fairly quickly because I think she'll be able to be in a majority alliance, like coming from this tribe too. Like I would love to see a D, Charlie, Camilla, Tiffany, and Chrissy. Like I would love to see that alliance coming out of this tribe. So yeah, I think like question mark, but not really a question mark because I think the question mark will be proven right. So that's where I see the Teal tribe sitting currently, and my winner picks out of this Teal Kahlo tribe is Tiffany and Charlie. And Tiffany, I think, is someone kind of like in her season, she was able to, she had a tight-ish alliance throughout. She was obviously on the disaster tribe, and then she was able to get to the end, and then she was seen as a big threat. So she got taken out, I believe, at 8. She had an idol in her pocket as well. So, she's a big player in this game, and I think she can show up on Survivor 50. And then Charlie too. Obviously, we saw what he did on his season. Was very close to winning his season, and was able to, with his social and strategic game, create different avenues for him to get to the end and to win. And he almost did it. So if he's able to repeat that again, then I think he can be put in a good spot to be in a good spot to potentially win Survivor Season 50. All right, so then second to last thing here, my 4 players that I am picking that are most likely to win Survivor Season 50. We're going to keep it going with the Teal tribe, and I'm going to go with someone we just talked about, and that is Charlie. I think, like I said, if he can play, no one's going to come out and play the same game they played the first time, but if Charlie can play a similar enough game from what he played his first time out there, and get in good alliances, which I think he can. I could be proven very wrong. People could view him as a threat, and not want to work with him, and he could be fighting from the bottom. But if he's able to get in with a good, trusted group, then I think he can get through. And if he can get to the merge, win a couple individual immunities, then I think he'll be in a good spot and has potential to win this game at the end. Next up, we're staying on the Teal tribe with Tiffany. Like I said, she was able to kind of get through this game, and she made some big moves during the game as well. Was a player in this game, and I think she's going to be a very good social player, and she'll be a good strategic player in this game as well. And I think given the right situation, she can put herself in with the right alliances, which I think this tribe provides her with that good opportunity to create good alliances. Then I think she can use that to get to the end and potentially win. Next up, Genevieve. I think Genevieve, this Genevieve is kind of the hit or miss. I think she is either going to be out super early because of her reputation from her season of Survivor, or she's going to sneak through, get to the merge, be in a solid, good, big alliance, and be able to kind of get to the end while making a couple moves from said big alliance to pick off different pieces of the alliance, but kind of keep kind of a tight core together. I mentioned her and Angelina. If that can kind of be the two, and then they're able to kind of work their way into a bigger alliance, then I think that's a good recipe for her to get to the end. And then I think once she would get to Final Tribal Council, I mean, I'll take her defending herself over most people on this season of Survivor. And there's a lot of good talkers and people who can, convince. Obviously, we have 3 winners on this season for a reason, but I got Genevieve as one of the 4 players I believe could win this game, and the last player who I believe could win this game, or that I'm picking to win this game, or could to potentially win this game, is Angelina. I talked about it. I really love the idea of Genevieve and Angelina. If they can get and work together and then be a part of a bigger alliance, then I think that could be beneficial for both of them. And I think kind of two similar but different players as well. I think that would benefit them both greatly, and they would be able to use their strengths to move forward, get to the end, and if they're able to get into a big alliance, help each other out, and then Angelina's social game as well. I think we'll be able to help propel her to get to the end of this game with the potential to win. But now for the moment of truth, my winner pick for Survivor Season 50 is Genevieve. Now, I do think I'll tell you kind of the order because the four that I just mentioned, those are in my Survivor fantasy draft. Those are the four that I had at the end. I'll tell you the order. I had Genevieve, I had Angelina, I had Tiffany, I had Charlie. I think all of them could potentially win this game. But I have Angelina second. I have Genevieve first. I think Genevieve is a little bit more risky of a pick because I think of those four, I think Genevieve is the most likely to get voted out early because of her potential threat level. So it is a little bit risky, but I think that she'll be able to get through, create some alliances early on that could help benefit her throughout the game with her social game and strategic play to get through this game of Survivor Season 50. So anyway, that'll do it for this one. Like I said, we will be back with recaps for every single episode of Survivor every single week on Thursday morning after the episode on Wednesday night. So excited for the premiere of Survivor 50 this Wednesday night. But anyway, that'll do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.